is August 11th, the first weekend of Middle Tennessee Athletic Conference play for 8-man football in Tennessee and Kentucky. And what better way to start here than in Hendersonville at Drakes Creek Park? This is the Tennessee Heat facing off against the Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders in our first video broadcast of 8-Man Extreme, part of the Extreme Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. Spencer Thompson along with James Shannon, who will be on camera in a second. Literally a second. Welcome to the first of consecutive video broadcasts here on 8-Man Extreme, and again, part of the Extreme Sports Network. We've got a good matchup again with both teams tonight. We have the Tennessee Heat against the Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders. Now, both of these teams had an interesting turn of events last year. They co-opted last year, of course. They both had an interesting run, and of course, a lot of different changes happening this year, especially with Hendersonville Christian Academy. They're having Daniel Meek, who has only one season of head coaching 8-man football under his belt. And we did get one stat here that they have 5 of 10 games at home, so they're looking to potentially, could go 5-5, but they're looking to use those home games to their advantage as well. And they went 3-2 in 2016 for home games last year. So, and meanwhile, with the Tennessee Heat, Ryan Scott, his first year as an 8-man football head coach, he was an assistant coach with the co-op last year. He's, of course, looking to lead his team to victory there. And they have not had a winning record since 2011 for the Middle Tennessee Heat. So looking for their program having different fluctuations and not having reliability and consistency since 2011. And James, we look at both of these teams. They co-opted last season. They did a lot of different things over the years. Of course, the Heat not having any winning records since 2011 and such. What is it going to take for the Heat to win this game?
Well, I think for the Heat, it's definitely going to be imperative to capitalize on things that they know about Hendersonville Christian, but also they have the advantage of not have. It's an advantage, but it's a disadvantage of not having any seniors. A lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores on the team, but no 12th graders, no upperclassmen, nobody that they're going to lose next year to graduation. I'll tell you also, interesting stat about with Daniel Meek, of course, his first year of head coaching being last year, but this is the first year that he has his guys on that team. Last year, with it being his first year, it was a co-op. So he kind of had to learn how to merge with everybody. But this year, he has his guys. He has his 14 players, I believe 15 players that's on the roster, and so he's ready to go with them. They have a lot of seniors. Actually, I think I count 8 seniors on the team, so really good leadership class from some of these guys. Some of these guys, this is their first year playing ball. For guys like Tanner Sturgis, this is their 5th year playing ball, and guys like that have a lot of pride in the program. So, I think it's definitely going to be really good to see both of these teams go back and forth. A lot of emotions going on. Of course, you fought hard and you struggled beside the guy that is across the field from you. But at the same time, there's a lot of pride here. And like I said on the podcast Sunday, that if either of these teams just win one game all year, they definitely want it to be tonight's game. They can win tonight and lose the next 9. They each play 10 games. They can lose the next 9. But they definitely have to win tonight's game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. As you look at the scoreboard behind us, 8 minutes until the game starts. We'll get some live footage here of the coin toss as we go in. Let's talk a little bit on the Heat side about junior Kanan White, who 2016 didn't get many snaps as quarterback. Looking to take the quarterback position. I believe we have him marked here as on starting offense and starting defense. He's only a sophomore at 6 foot 175 pounds. I mean, to go from freshman year to sophomore year and go into the starting position, I mean, that's pretty significant, especially for Kanan White.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see Kanan and the way that he plays tonight. Of course, going against Justin Bader, who beat him for the starting job last year, and Jamie Sabley, a senior that came from the Tennessee Heat, was in that quarterback mix. So Kanan didn't get a lot of snaps, but he's really shown a lot of potential. And so between having all-star wide receiver Clint Collins catching the ball for him, and then having several returning linemen from last year and several skill players, it's going to be crucial that he takes those abilities and that talent and uses it in a way to where even in his sophomore year he can show up, and for the Heat that can work out really well. If he plays well this year and then he has his senior year, he could have 2 years under his belt and completely show up. So really interesting and really looking forward to see what he has.
And, of course, one more thing about going with Hendersonville Christian Academy, senior Justin Bader. First season playing football.
Last season was his first season.
Excuse me. Last season he was his first season. He went from baseball to football, and now he did amazing last year. Flourished, amazing stats putting up, and he's the favored starting quarterback in tonight's game. So Justin Bader, his final year, going to be playing as a starting quarterback potentially.
Yeah, for Bader, traditionally a baseball player. Of course, having that pitching motion, that throwing motion definitely works out to his advantage. And, of course, he had the ability, the agility to play that position. And that's one of the things I noticed from the Jamboree was he was able to move around and get away from some of those bad situations. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how he comes back tonight, and and what kind of impression he leaves. I mean, HCA has a great history with quarterbacks, especially senior quarterbacks, guys like Devin Humphreys that led them to 3 state championships, and other quarterbacks that have come. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what he does tonight. And I think you have the starting lineups for each team. They're giving it right now over the PA system, but we have the starting lineups for you right now.
Yeah, starting lineups. We don't have the positions down here, but starting offense, we got Clint Collins, Ryan Scott, that's number 1 and 2. Also on starting offense, Justin Goolsby, number 13, Kanan White, number 15, 24, James Redding, 44, Isaiah Mason, 47, Micah DeGrood, and number 55, Elijah Diaz. And that's for starting offense. We don't know, of course, a coin toss about to happen here. And a majority of those same players on starting defense for the Tennessee Heat as well. The only difference is Brock Holly is on starting defense when he's not on starting offense, and Elijah Diaz on starting offense but not starting defense. And now for the Tennessee Heat, we actually don't have those marked down. Those should be marked down, but we don't have them down here. So let's see. That was the Tennessee Heat for starting lineups. It looks like among my notes here, I'm sure I have the other starting lineups there. If not, we'll give them up to you in the booth anyway. Okay, so it looks like I don't have them on the notes there, of course. So the coin toss about to happen here at Drakes Creek Park for the Tennessee Heat and the Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders both facing off here. I mean, regardless of who starts, it's the first game of the MTech season. It's going to be great for both of these teams to figure out their first game, get the kinks together. And I was talking a little bit with the coach beforehand of the Tennessee Heat. Their scrimmage getting canceled that was originally going to be with the Lighthouse Christian School in the Jamboree that we're going to be facing against Franklin Christian Academy, but Lighthouse pulled out of that, and then it got rained out. So I talked to him a little bit and asked him, does that make any difference going against a team in the Jamboree that played in a Jamboree at Christian Community? And he said, it's good to have some of those kinks work out, but it sometimes works a little bit better, the risk of injury in the Jamboree and different stuff like that. Because especially a prime example I gave him was senior Cole Warren from Franklin Classical School Knights, who broke his leg in the Jamboree or in preseason. Yeah, that was last year, and that ended his season. So, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how, a Jamboree fresh team goes against a Jamboree absent team.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing about the Jamboree is it's a chance for guys to hit other guys that aren't wearing the same uniform, that aren't their friends. Of course, coaches aren't going to show that much scheme-wise and how they plan to use players. But the players are definitely going to show up, and you're going to be able to tell who played well. Last week, you could definitely tell. Guys like Tanner Sturgis that they just announced, number 70. You heard his name probably 5 or 6 times during their scrimmage against Madisonville and Franklin Classical. Speaking of Classical, Cole Warren, and we mentioned him, he showed up during that Jamboree. And I could keep going on and on about guys that showed up. Xavier Vincent for South Haven Christian. Just guys that showed up during the Jamboree, and so it's definitely going to be a different dynamic. It'll be interesting to compare, a team that has not hit anybody else as opposed to someone who has hit several teams. And Hendersonville also did a 5-on-5 against Christian Community a couple weeks ago, so they've had the experience of being able to go up against other guys that don't know what they're doing. And the Tennessee Heat have not. And so it's definitely going to be interesting to see that combined with the coaching experience for both coaches. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a great game. Now, either way, the first video broadcast for 8-Man Extreme. It's the Heat and the Crusaders on Friday Night MTech Football. We're going to bring you the coin toss in just a moment.
It looks like right now we're going to get you the player run through for the Tennessee Heat as they run through their banner. And then, of course, we'll get Hendersonville Christian coming out. I believe the Heat have a flag that one of the players may have. And then Hendersonville Christian will also, actually, I think that may be it. I think that's it. So they'll both run out with flags. We'll get your players running out on the field, and then we'll get going.
Absolutely, and as you can see in the scoreboard in the background, the clock winding down, just about a minute left until we get into the epic matchup between the Middle Tennessee, not Middle Tennessee anymore, more of just Tennessee Heat, and the one and only Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders. So here come the players now.
Tennessee Heat.
The Middle Tennessee Heat have run through the banner. Now, of course, we'll get the tripod moved, and the referees will conduct the coin toss.
Well, we got to get Hendersonville Christian running out first.
Oh, yes, that's right. Hendersonville Christian does have to come running out. We'll get the camera adjusted for that as well. And here come the Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders on their home field at Drakes Creek Park. Just coming out slow, not having any over-enthusiasm like the Heat have, just the intimidation stride, as they call it.
Of course, Tennessee Heat tonight in their white, brand new uniforms, by the way. White uniforms, black pants, a lot of stripes. They're typical... the numbers in that, I guess it's like a maroon color almost. And then the Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders, they're wearing their traditional cream color jerseys, green pants, green helmets. And here come the HCA Crusaders. And we're going to get the captains, and we'll do the coin toss momentarily.
The captain's about to come onto the field. As for the Hendersonville Christian Academy Crusaders, it looks like their captains are 70 and 2. That's Tanner Sturgis, a senior, and Justin Bader, also a senior. Bader, their starting quarterback, and Sturgis, their offensive and defensive line.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll give your attention to midfield, the coin toss will be taking place.
And the captains for the Middle Tennessee Heat, number 13, Justin Goolsby Jr., number 24, James Redding Jr.
Get the mic in there. Get the mic in there for interest.
Gentlemen, greet each other, shake hands. All right, gentlemen, welcome to a beautiful night for football. Hopefully it rains a little bit so that you guys can get a little muddy. I know you like to have fun that way. 13, you doing the speaking? Need you down here with me, please. All right, gentlemen, let me just remind you of this. Coaches say things like, play until the whistle. I want you to be reminded it's not the whistle that ends the play. The play simply ends itself. All right? So if we have a situation where somebody's obviously down or obviously out of bounds, do not hit them. That is something that can get you excused from the ballgame. Everybody understood? If you have a teammate that's out of control, if you guys get them back under control quickly, that stops us from getting involved. If we have to do something and flags come out, yards get walked off, and nobody came to see us walk off penalty. Everybody got it? All right. You guys are visiting team, you get to call it. Heads, tails. All right? Tails, heads. I need you to call it loud enough that he can hear you. If I drop it, we'll do it again. All right? Call it. Heads. What was the call? Heads. It is tails. You want to toss. You want the ball. You're going to take the ball. Which end would you like to defend? All right? If you guys would, step over to y'all. You guys stay here. Crusaders have won the toss, chose to receive.
The Crusaders have won the toss and are elected.
And the Crusaders, as you've heard it here, they've won the toss and elected to receive. They will defend the side to the. So now we're going to head up to the press box. Well, before we head up to the, looks like we're going to head up to the press box there, and the team's about to meet again. The Crusaders get the ball first.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the national anthem
stand and remove your hats for
coming
the
up
invocation
first.
to be given by Chip Johnson, the preteen pastor at the church at Indy Lake. And please remain standing after the invocation for the playing of our national anthem. Micah DeGrood.
Kicking off for the Heat, it's number 47, Micah DeGrood.
Number 22, Joseph Mustad.
One of the more smooth microphone transitions up there. Looks like first and 10, toss to 88 tight end on the right side. Manages to avoid a tackle there and get down at about the 23-yard line. Looked like the ball is ruled down by contact. Going to make it about second down and 2. About second down and 1. Of course, that was a good run by the Crusaders. Number 88, Jalen Cole, one of the taller seniors at 6'3". And here's 2nd and 1. Fake pass, toss on the left side, incomplete pass intended for number 32. It was the number 32 Bailey Ridings. Make it 3rd and 1.
Pass for Bader was intended for number 32 Bailey Ridings. It was incomplete. It will be 3rd down.
Yeah, and we're pretty close right off the bat to having a 3 and out to start the year.
It's now 3rd and 1. Looks like a little bit of potential false start there. Run on the right side. Will he get the extra yard? The question looks like short. It is now 4th down and 1. That was Joseph Musnug trying to carry the ball there. Just came up a little bit short. For the first drive will result in a punt. Yeah, James trying to get the camera properly configured for you guys so you get the best view possible. Sorry about that sudden drop. So now 4th down and 1. It looks like they're going to go for it. Pretty gutsy move for the first drive of the year. And it looks like they did get him to jump off sides. It's an encroachment on the defense, so that's a 1st down. Smart move by Hendersonville to try and do that pass there and make it look like they could have potentially fake punted.
Yeah, that's one of the things about going on for it on 4th down is, sometimes you can run a longer snap count, and in this case they got them to have encroachment. They got the penalty on them, but sometimes they'll just get. Well, here we go.
That was Ryan Scott of the Crusaders with a decent 5-yard run there. Let me 2nd down and 5. Excuse me. That was actually the Heat, Ryan Scott.
Number 2, Justin Bader.
So that was the Crusaders on that run. Of course, the Crusaders marching on offense now. It's now about at the 38-yard line in their own territory. It's a 80-yard field as well, so 40 being the median line here at Drakes Creek Park. Ball snapped. It's a toss on the right side intended for the tight end there. The Crusaders. That was Jalen Cole, the intended receiver. It looks like the pass incomplete attempted by Justin Bader, number 2. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier with the senior quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see what he does during this game. Being a senior, this is his 2nd year really getting to start. He got a couple starts last year, so just seeing how he handles this pressure against this Heat team. They've got some good-sized guys.
Mm-hmm. 3rd and 5. Here's Bader again attempting the short pass, complete by 22 in the backfield. It manages to juke out a few players and gains a few yards there, but not enough to get past the 4th down. We may see another attempted offsides here. That was Justin Bader pitched to Musnug in the backfield. So he managed to get some good jukes there, but didn't really compromise to try and get the 1st down.
Yeah, it's 4th and 3 at this point. They could do either way. They could just straight up go for it or try to do what they've done before and get a longer snap count and potentially draw them off sides or maybe get an encroachment penalty on them. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. It doesn't look like they're going to punt. Of course, on 4th and 3, opening night, you don't want to start out with a dud.
Yeah, you never know what happens. I mean, they had they almost punted on that last one, but good job by the Crusaders to make them go off sides as Bader here. Time called. It's a timeout called by the Crusaders. So with 9:20 left to go in the first quarter, we're scoreless here. The opening game in MTAC football. Sorry about that audio there, trying to get some things adjusted. That's a flag called right after the penalty.
It's going to be a Christian.
Yep, false start on the offense. So that's definitely going to solidify a punt there.
Yeah, it's it was 4th and 3, and these guys had the opportunity. They took the timeout to get regrouped and to come out and have that kind of a mistake happen. Really, I mean, that's all penalty. A false start, any penalty like that is just a mistake, and it's a mental mistake that a lot of these seniors they can't afford to give this up.
Absolutely. Here's Bader in the backfield on 4th and long, and he will punt it away.
Tom Brady, quick
and
pick
Kanan White drops the ball. Ooh, it looks like it could have been a penalty there. So now 22. It looked like it was shoving them back by one of the Heat players on number 80. It was number 80. Luke Clemens looked like he got shoved in the back there by one of the Heat players, but referee, of course, didn't see it. So now that'll make it 1st and 10 for the Heat, their first offensive drive. And of course, the Heat, again, one of their starters, Clint Collins and Ryan Scott. It looks like in the backfield, Kanan White, who may run this, or you got 2 receivers on both sides. The 1st and 10 here, the first offensive play for the Heat on their regular season. A deep toss on the right side, overthrown by Kanan White. This is intended there for Clint Collins, and that's 2nd down. It looks like it could have been a little bit of miscommunication there, James.
It could have been, and we knew he was going to go that Kanan White was going to go deep to Clint Collins. I mean, that's almost a given. But to come out and make that your first play, really gutsy, but really also it's a great way to start out coming back as the Heat to say, hey, look, we're not going to be safe, we're not going to play conservative. We're going to come out and we're going to try to take it to you and test your defensive backs.
Mm-hmm. Now second down, the same formation on the last play. 2 receivers wide on right and left. And White alone in the backfield takes a quarterback sneak, trying to juke out the defensive line, and he does. Jukes him out again, going on the left side. Here's Kanan White, and he's off to the races. Touchdown. It looks like there's a flag back on the 35-yard line. So it looks like the referee's going to call it back. We're waiting on the official to give us the call here to the box.
And that right there is the reason that it's coming back. Let's get the call.
Personal foul against the offense, 15 yards.
Personal foul, so it's going to back them up 15 yards from the previous spot, and it's going to be 2nd down.
Yeah, that's the only thing about, we don't know what the personal foul was. It could have been an illegal block in the back, face mask, could have been anything on that personal foul. Just referee only saying personal foul on the offense. So they've all been ruled back, so it's about 2nd down and 12. That's maybe 2nd and 13 on, looks like the 19-yard line. That's a big pullback for the Heat. Looks like they could have had a touchdown there for Kanan White. 8:52 left to go in the first period. Well, first period, first quarter, synonyms there, but period more basketball terminology. 2 receivers on the right. White in the backfield, motion. White pitches it out to 24, Redding. Almost brought down in the backfield, avoids a tackle. Here goes Redding trying to push through the first down. He won't get it, but it's still 3rd down. It's now 3rd down and 2, but another flag in the backfield. Heat having a little bit of offensive discipline problems here, it looks like. It looks like the referee going to give us a call here, but another flag in the backfield. An illegal shift called on the offense there. Did you see any motion from the quarterback with his leg to trigger the motion on that one?
I'm not 100% sure where that came in, but obviously by the official it was assumed or seen that there was an illegal shift on it. So he saw something that he didn't like, and he has that prerogative to call it back.
Absolutely, he does have the right to call it back. So it's now 2nd and long. Looks like about maybe 2nd and 8. So it looks like the referee a little bit of clock operation. Game will resume. Looks like they got to stop the clock again. It looks like they have set the game clock to 83 minutes 40 seconds, but now adjusted. We can get on with the ball game. There's a pass by 15, toss over, and it's Justin Bader who received the pass. Excuse me, that's Ryan Scott looking at the wrong roster there. There's a Ryan Scott intended pass from Kanan White.
And the interesting thing about Ryan Scott is this is his first year playing football. Traditionally a baseball player also, but decided to come out for the team his senior year. And so, we'll see what he has this year. Of course, hadn't seen them in action before tonight, but a good catch there to give them was it first down, second down? They're going to move it. Second down and third down and 3, rather. Third down and 3.
Yeah, third and 3, and especially a good catch in traffic with the amount of Crusaders that he had around there. The Heat trying to get some momentum on this drive. So it's about third down and 3. White again in the backfield. 2 receivers on both sides. White, toss on the right side. Caught by Collins, avoids a tackle. He's got the first down and a little bit more. He's brought down at about the 37-yard line. First and 10, a great catch and great run there by Clint Collins. First down.
Yeah, and see, there's Collins showing up again. He's going to be one of their top targets, probably along with Ryan Scott. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Justin Goolsby maybe get in there. We'll maybe see him in a minute or two.
It's first down and 10. White looking for the pass. Almost could have been a one-handed interception there by Nolan Deering, but just bats the ball down intended for Reading. Second and 10.
Yeah, that was a big-time play from a senior there. I believe he was a senior. Yeah, from a senior there. Just showing up, staying with his man that he was assigned to, and being able to make that play. If not, it looks like he could have potentially turned the corner and picked up maybe 5, 6, 7 more yards, if not more. But great defensive play there from the lineman.
It's now second and 10 after the incomplete pass. White has a man to his left. 2 receivers on left. There's motion on the play. This ball snapped. It's Kanan White, toss on the right side. Almost an interception there. Could have been Chris Savely with a pick. If he had caught that, it could have been a pick 6. Had a wide open field to sprint down to the end zone. It's now third and 10.
By the Crusaders by number 22, Joseph Mucknight. It will be a third down for the Heat.
It's now third and 10 here for the Heat. It's now third and 10. Here's White going with the quarterback sneak up the middle. He's got a first down and more still. He's refusing to be tackled. Finally brought down to the 19-yard line with a flag thrown by the referee in the backfield. So possibly first and 10 here, but this may be brought back a little bit.
Ball was carried by number 15, Kanan White. There is a flag on the play.
And of course, we got a score update while the referee is sorting this out. James?
Yeah, 2 other games going on tonight. You have the Franklin Christian Academy Falcons down in Huntsville, Alabama, taking on the Freedom Cowboys. We'll get a scoring update from there momentarily. Over in White House, Christian Community School hosting Sacred Heart, who participated in that jamboree last week. And 4 minutes, 44 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Christian Community 24, the defending national champions, nothing. They are being shut out right now. Defending national, and they consider themselves to be the MTAC champions, but they are not. So they are down 24-0, 4:45 remaining in the first quarter. Shout out to Caleb Cook for that update.
Man, that's 24 to 0. See how that game develops if Sacred Heart potentially makes it back, as it's 3rd and 1 here for the Heat. The penalty brought the ball back. There's another quarterback sneak. It is successful, so Caden White will get another first down. Ball in about the 27-yard line in Crusader territory. So 1st and 10. It's first and 10, ball on the 26-yard line. Snap, toss on the left side. Ball dropped incomplete. Clint Collins looked like he could have gotten the ball there.
Yeah, they're going to rule that was just a little too close for comfort.
2nd down for the Heat.
So now second and 10 after the incomplete pass. It's 5 minutes, 55 seconds left to go in the first period. Ball snapped. Here's White again, and he almost got brought down there by 72. The Crusaders, and White going on the right side, trying to sneak in, gets knocked out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. That's 1st and goal for the Heat. That was Wesley Yunker who almost got the sack there, but just couldn't wrap up and tackle.
Yeah, another one of those seniors getting in there and making the play. We mentioned it, that the Hendersonville Christian, 8 seniors, they're going to show up at different points tonight. And Yunker almost bringing White down, but White with the escape, and he took it down to, looks like about the 8-yard line. Of course, we got a 1st and goal.
1st and goal here for the Heat. Well within scoring opportunity, went a lot farther than the Crusaders did on their first drive, and of course, still plenty of ball game. White, ball fumbled and picked up by James Redding in the backfield. So that'll be a loss on the play. It's 2nd and goal still. Just a little bit of miscommunication there by the Heat.
Yeah, and down in the red zone. Right now it's back at the 10, 11-yard line. So you're still a 2nd and goal. You still got 3 more cracks at the end zone, but it's definitely not the way that you want to start your first red zone drive and your first red zone appearance here in the 2017 season.
Absolutely. It's now 2nd and goal on the, looks like about the 10, 11-yard line in between those hash marks. Here's White in the backfield with Redding to his right. 2 receivers on right. Ball snapped. White looking for the pass. Tosses it up in the air to 2. Way overthrown. Looks like it was intended for Ryan Scott. 3rd and goal.
Pass was intended for Ryan Scott. Incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down.
You know what I think just happened? I think it's broadcasting on my channel. That might be the case.
Are there any videos on your channel?
Yeah. That might be the case. Afterwards, we can easily switch accounts. But yeah, just look up Spencer Thompson. 3rd and goal at the 10-yard line. Here's White in the backfield again, looking for the pass, toss deep right, intended, and it is caught for the touchdown. And that's
Looks like that was Clint Collins.
Clint Collins getting the touchdown in the corner. Looked like it could have been intercepted there by the Crusaders. Looked like Justin Bader could have had the interception there, but Collins at 5'11" just had a little bit more height on Bader.
You know what's funny is that's not the first touchdown in that corner that Collins has caught. He caught a couple last year with Hendersonville Christian during their co-op. So kind of returned to the same spot and same culprit, putting the Heat up by 6. 2-point conversion attempt coming up. Extra point.
Yeah, extra point. Yeah. Did we hear any analysis here of potential field goal kickers on this team?
I did not, but it looks like Keenan White's going to try the extra point, and it's blocked and no good. So 6-0.
Yep. 4:17 left to go in the first quarter. It's 6-0. The Tennessee Heat leading the Crusaders.